What's up there, Workforce? Chris here with Work To Game, and let's talk a little bit about things you need to know to be sure that you're ready for Heaven on High, levels 31 and above. Now, this video is brought to you by our friends over at Patreon. You Patreons are incredible. Thank you so much. If you guys want to thank them down in the comments below, definitely feel free to do so. Maybe consider becoming one. Now, let's dive in. Now, the first thing you need to know is that party comp is important, and red mages are once again incredibly overpowered. The additional ability to have a res, the heal, the damage output, across the board, red mages are incredibly strong. The next most important thing is stuns. There are so many things that later on in the upper levels need to be stunned. So your tank needs to be ready to stun, they need to have low blow on their bar, and if you could have a second stun, that would be awesome. And then of course you do need to have a healer. That's about it. That's the big things on party comp. Now, as you move forward, 31 starts, it's noticeably harder than 30, but it's not incredibly impossible. By 50, it's stepped up again, and by 70, it's gotten to be very, very difficult, to the point of being a little RNG. It can be a little scary, and that's just luck. There's a ton of different kind of monsters you're going to run into, mechanics, and in my opinion, the levels are scarier than the bosses, because a luring trap with not having the right pomander could be the end of your run, and then you have to go all the way back to 21 and start over. Now, I've had very good luck in Party Finder. I see that there's people having very good luck solo, so I know that 31 to 100 is definitely possible if you're willing to put in the time. But just keep in mind that if you have a fixed party full of kind of friends and everything, that you have the advantage of being able to take it in chunks, because 20 to 40 minutes per 10 levels, you might only be able to do so many levels in a row before you lose somebody. And if you lose somebody, you have to start back over at 21. So I would encourage you to make sure that you're ready to commit the amount of time, and that you're keeping in mind at the beginning of every run, what if this is the run that makes it all the way to 100? So definitely be prepared for that. The last thing that I would say that you need to prep for is bad RNG on the loot. You're not going to always get great loot. Bad RNG on the pulls. You are going to be disappointed by those, and just be prepared for the content. You need to focus more and more and more. The silver chests are great, but I would recommend really pushing your Aether pool up in the early levels when it's easy to get full clears. Save your pomanders. Your biggest, most powerful ones are Petrification. Witching is a great way to stop mimics from putting pox on you if you don't have a purity. Across the board, just use your pomanders. Remember to use your affluence. Remember to use your flight, where you can reduce the number of things on the floor above you. You can increase the amount of loot on the floor above you. When it comes to Magicite, using Magicite to clear the floors without walls is great, unless it's Odin. Save that for a boss, because it will one-shot it. Keep in mind that if you are about to use a Magicite, you can actually toss a Pomander of Fortune up and then mow the level down, and that puts Fortune on all those guys, so you get a ton of bonus loot. So that is definitely a key. And then when you're using the one that makes you invisible, any action, including using another Pomander, will make you visible again. And that's incredibly important in those upper levels, because getting stuck when your party is separated is awful. Other than that, I think you're ready to go in and try 31 and above. It is just about repetition and getting after it. Keep your Aether pool as high as you can, even if you're spending some on grips. Just go ahead and keep that nice and high. 70 plus should kind of put you in a good spot, and just be willing to put some repetition into it. This has been Chris with Work To Game. I hope that all of this helps. If you guys have any advice down below, definitely feel free to leave that for everybody. Have a discussion down there. Are there things that you think that I said that maybe aren't as important, or things that you'd like to say are important? Are you having certain luck with some classes? I hear that Ninja is very hard because it's hard to maintain your combo. So I think that over time we'll learn that some classes are easier than others. We'll learn that there's tricks to each boss. The level 30 boss, stand under the cloud, so when he tosses you up, it dissipates the cloud. The level 40 boss puts 3 little Aether pool things, green things, down the sides of the map. You need to be standing on the other side, because it's going to be a knockback. Don't get knocked back into those. The level 50 boss, really I didn't feel was very difficult at all. He has some stuff to not stand in. That's about it. That gets pretty cool. The level 60 boss, don't stand in stuff. The level 70 boss gets a little trickier. He puts like he's like a little Cerberus, like dog thing. He puts like a little thing down on the ground. I've been told from my highlight thing where we didn't know what to do that you should be backing up and dragging that into there. The big thing is to make sure that not more than one person is getting caught by anything he does, because if he eats your whole party, you're done. So be ready on those reses. Have your Phoenix Downs ready. Have your potions ready. There's these Eurekan potions that do great. Have the potions, the drops or whatever that take off your sight silence. That's a good consumable to have. I haven't seen the 80 boss, the 90 boss, or the 100 boss personally yet. I'm sure there are videos out here on YouTube. I've been trying not to spoil them for myself. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything for you there, but if you click on this video, you're probably already stuck on something, so I hope I helped out. And that is about it. So definitely start that conversation down below. This has been Chris with Work To Game. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed how much we've gotten to stream that this week. It's been a blast doing varying amounts of progress every day. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. You guys ever wondered what's behind me? Let's go ahead and take a look. There's some Warhammer and gaming stuff. There's some German beer steins. There's a rainbow ball shooting out of his face unicorn, some Star Wars toys, some different architecture projects, some Work To Game mugs, one with a chocobo on it, some Jeeps, and then my face, and then the first skyscraper I worked on in my first job out of college. So, yeah.